Good afternoon everyone and welcome back to American Civil War UK History, and we stopped at a special location and Bryan Cheeseboro is going to explain.
Thank you again, Darren. We are here at the African American Civil War Memorial and Museum in Washington, D.C. This is the statue group that's been here since 1998, and I was here when it was dedicated. I remember being across the street for the dedication, and it was done July 18th, I believe, that anniversary being the Battle of Fort Wagner, Second Fort Wagner, where the 54th fought and Colonel Shaw was killed and all of that. Anyway, so the statue group represents the soldiers and sailors, as I mentioned, and around the base of the monument, these plaques all going around in this semicircle. These are of each regiment, showing the names of all of these soldiers in the regiment. So I believe it's all 200,000 or that rough number. I forget the exact number of soldiers, and some men were in more than one regiment, so I guess their names are repeated. These are the officers and the soldiers as well, and all of those who fought with the United States colored troops during the American Civil War. So we see all of these. We see 3rd Regiment Colored Cavalry, 3rd Regiment Colored Heavy Artillery, how they're designated. So they just go on, and they go, and there's another row back here of these different regiments, and you get 2 lanes of this, of course, because they're on the back side of this front wall as well. Across the street, you might be able to see those doors. That is the actual African American Civil War Museum. And so they have the museum there. They give tours, talks, and the exciting part is that right next to it is what was the Grimke School, which was a school for African Americans at some point, I believe in the 19th century, early 20th century or whatever. But that property has been purchased by the museum, and they are going to expand into that property. So they're going to have new exhibits, new expansion for the museum. So we're all excited about this. This is all just great. It's right accessible to the metro system, so you can get off the metro. It's a metro stop. U Street, Cardoza, African American Civil War Memorial and Museum. You get off there, come check this out. It's all great stuff to see. These great plaques, all the names of the soldiers. I think some of the state regiments are here too, the 54th, 55th, Massachusetts, 29th, Connecticut, and so on. So that's it. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. I'm going to sorry.
Correct me if I'm wrong, there was a contraband camp here too, correct?
That's Camp Barry.
Yes.
Now, exactly where it was, I'm not sure right now. You happen to know?
I don't know, because I think that was part of the reason why they chose this local area was because it was near the contraband camp, correct?
You might be right about that. And others do know about that. Maybe somebody out there, of course, knows. But Camp Barry was one of the contraband camps, as mentioned with Alexandria, what was going on there. And keep in mind that during most of the Civil War, from April 16, 1862, all black people in the District of Columbia, Washington, D.C. were free everywhere, period. And they were in free territory, they were in a free place. Many people escaped from Maryland and Virginia to come to D.C. because of that freedom. It's not like you have to go up to Canada or anything like that. Of course, it's important because to win the war so that freedom is sustained, and it was. But yes, that's a good question.
Yeah. If anybody was wondering what contraband camps are, these are where runaway slaves / free people who asserted their freedom, African Americans who were enslaved, ran away. The federal government initially put them into contraband camps because contraband of war, etc.
And that term contraband has been somewhat controversial in our newer understandings of history.
Exactly.
But essentially, it was those people who had escaped enslavement and made their way to Union lines, to Union territory, and basically continue their agency in exercising their freedom, and then working towards, of course, rights, civil rights, and bringing us, I'd say, on that step to where we are today.
Okay, and I'm going to finish with having a closer look at this monument, which is amazing.